everybody, my name is Dr. John Lucio. Welcome to our channel, J&J House Call. I practice integrative medicine and pain management in Jefferson City, Missouri. This is my wife.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jennifer Sue. I practice conventional gynecology and integrative medicine. Welcome back to our channel. If you've never joined us, we are integrative medicine physicians trained under Dr. Andrew Weil to keep you guys healthy. So we hope everybody's well during the coronavirus pandemic, and I hope you watched our last video about how to handle the anxiety that's associated along with this that everyone's going through, because if we keep our anxiety low, inflammation is low and our immunity goes up. So today's topic is something that was requested, and there was a question from one of our viewers about the difference between last Sunday's topic of the, what was that?
Atkins diet.
Atkins diet and the keto diet. So today's keto diet, you're in for a treat because you know keto diet's used for weight loss. Your friends are like looking really good, they're on the keto diet, but there's two other benefits for the keto diet that you may not know of, and one that's controversial.
If you remember from my last video, I started this series on different diets, and as I mentioned, Atkins diet is a low carbohydrate diet. The keto diet is also an extremely low carbohydrate diet. They're both kind of similar in that they both induce ketosis for a period of time, and the keto diet actually does it for a longer period of time. Now, the keto diet is interesting because there's been some talk out there about how it can help bring some cancers, and there was an article in 2012 from a Thomas Seyfried, PhD, who stated that because of the fact that cancers usually require glucose to metabolize and to survive, that getting someone onto a keto diet, as you remember, keto means that you decrease the amount of carbohydrates, decrease the glucose, so that your body starts to burn fat and produces ketones. So by that assumption, then cancers that usually require a lot of glucose to survive can't survive in a high ketogenic environment. Unfortunately, not every cancer acts the same. Some cancers do survive and are able to adapt after a period of time, but there are some evidence that only certain types, I think maybe only one that shows the most promise right now, and so really that you can't use it for every single cancer diagnosis. So don't think that that's going to be the cure.
The keto.
Right. So keep that in mind as well if you hear people talk about it. So the second interesting thing is that there have been studies with decreasing the frequency of certain types of epilepsy. And it has shown that people that are on a keto diet can decrease the frequency and severity of the epileptic episodes. Unfortunately, long-term use of the keto diet is actually not very healthy for you, so you've got to make some allowances for that. But it's very interesting that because the keto diet actually decreases what they call neuronal excitability, and that's the fact that it decreases that electrical excitability in the brain that induces those epileptic episodes. So the last thing that actually pertains even to a lot to my practice is it's research that has been shown to help decrease some the severity of migraine headaches. Now, even in instances where they took patients and they put them on a keto diet that had migraines, they noticed, and they lost weight with it, by the way, they noticed that the patients that were on the keto diet didn't exactly remove all the migraine symptoms, but it decreased the frequency of it. And when they started them back on the diet, they got the headaches back again, even if they hadn't gained back the weight. So it had nothing to do with that. So it's very interesting. And even in my practice, if I have someone who's been has a refractory migraines, in other words, they've been on all these medications or they have side effects to a lot of the medications that are out there, I will suggest trying a keto diet for a period of time. So one of the questions that was asked is, what's the difference between the two? Well, the Atkins diet is a low carbohydrate diet, does induce ketosis. It does have steps in it though, and there's phases. And the first two phases, typically it's a high ketosis diet where it's basically eat the majority are protein and you eat very little carbohydrates. Now, as time goes on, you are allowed to incorporate certain vegetables and fruits into the diet. So there's some, you can ingest some carbohydrates as time goes on. Keto diet, however, is very strict. It does say that for the time being, or for during the time we're on that diet, you have to stay on that very strict consumption of certain foods, and it's typically everything but carbohydrates. A very low carbohydrate diet, high protein, high fat. So it's not as palatable as an Atkins diet would be. Atkins diet tends to be a little bit more well-rounded as you get into the other phases of the diet. So that's really the main difference. They both induce ketosis. However, the Atkins diet does allow for incorporation of certain other food substances, where this ketogenic diet typically is very strict. You are on a chronic ketotic environment in your body the entire time. Now, both diets have been shown to lose weight. People tend to lose weight during that initial phase of the diet, and that's really that's been found throughout many different studies.
The way that weight loss happens during ketosis is that our brain needs energy. And because you're not having any glucose, the brain goes, I need energy to function. And so it finds it in our fat stores. And so that's why we lose fat, and that's why the weight loss happens.
Yeah. The other difference between the Atkins diet and the keto diet is that with the Atkins diet, there really is no cap on the amount of protein that you take, whereas the keto diet, there is a cap and limitation. What is still the problem, as I mentioned, even with the Atkins diet, is how healthy these diets are. Now, the problem with long-term studies with these diets is they rarely go for over 2 to 4 years, is because people tend to drop out after a period of time. Either they can't tolerate it anymore, or it's hard to control for other factors in their lifestyle that would affect the outcomes of these diets. So when you hear somebody say, oh, it's completely safe, it's not been confirmed. So take that with a grain of salt. And I always recommend that if you're going to do this type of extreme diet, you always have a consultation with your physician. They should also follow some other your blood values and blood lipids as well, to make sure you're not overdoing it and your body's not reacting really in a not good way. So keep that in mind.
Can I ask you a question? One of my patients said that one of her friends had to have her gallbladder removed. And what was interesting was she was on the keto diet, and the general surgeon talked as if he takes out a lot of gallbladders on people with from people that are on keto diet. So does the keto diet cause more gallbladder disease?
Well, if you're on a diet that has a lot of fat in it, then you are predisposed to having gallbladder problems that can conceivably make it worse.
Okay, all right.
Okay, well, that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. You all stay healthy.
Next video is going to be how to disinfect things that come into your house. Yeah. Whether it's groceries, the mail, packages, they could be infected with coronavirus. Not to scare you guys, it's just to be cautious. So stay tuned for our next video. Always subscribe, and please hit that notification bell so you know when we've uploaded our next video.
Yep. And next week, as part of our continuing series on diets, we're going to talk about the paleo diet.
Ooh, paleo.
So long, everybody.
You're really good, Kat.
Right? Okay, good.
You are. Okay,
check out my photograph of me in the bathroom.
I got sent a timeout. Check us on Facebook. Don't
put that on there. Do not put that on.
It's going on there.
No.
Yes.